Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking a seriously incredible journey deep into the Guatemalan jungle. We're going to uncover a story of just staggering ambition, monumental architecture, and ultimately an epic societal collapse. We're looking at El Mirador, the ancient seat of the Maya Snake Kings.
So how does a city of millions just vanish under the jungle? It's a totally fascinating question, right? Now, if you happen to catch Josh Gates searching for the lost Preclassic Maya Snake Kings on Expedition Unknown, you already know that finding anything in this dense rainforest is a massive challenge. I mean, for literally decades, the jungle completely swallowed a civilization of millions, just hiding its secrets from the modern world.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we're up against. The Mirador Basin is this massive geographical depression spanning 810,000 acres across northern Guatemala and southern Campeche, Mexico. From up above, it just looks like an endless, impenetrable sea of green tropical forest. But hidden beneath that canopy lies one of the absolute most important complexes of ancient cities ever built.
Which brings us to Section 1, peeling back the canopy.
So how do we actually find a lost world buried under, billions of trees? To map a region this incredibly dense, expedition teams team up with drone pioneers like Jeff Fargerman and his company LiDAR USA. Instead of spending decades just hacking through the thick bush with machetes, these experts deploy drones equipped with highly specialized lasers. What they do is create what are called bare earth models. It's wild. They can digitally strip away the entire jungle without cutting down a single tree.
This tech is called LiDAR, which stands for light detection and ranging. Basically, by firing rapid laser pulses from the air, LiDAR penetrates the tiny little gaps in the dense jungle canopy to measure the exact distance to the ground. And when the LiDAR USA team showed their bare Earth model to archaeologists, people who had been working in that exact same jungle for over 30 years, the excitement was absolutely off the charts. The lasers revealed massive, previously completely undiscovered structures hiding right beneath their feet.
Moving on to Section 2, a Preclassic Maya super city.
What that LiDAR data revealed completely turned our understanding of Maya history on its head. To the absolute shock of early archaeologists, these massive constructions in the Mirador Basin weren't from the classic Maya period, like the famous ruins of Tikal. No, they are centuries older. Founded way back in the 6th century BC, El Mirador actually hit its peak in the 3rd century BC. That puts it firmly in the pre-classic era. And to really grasp the scale of that peak, you just need to internalize this one single number, 2,800,000. That is the volume, in cubic meters, of just one structure at El Mirador, the mighty La Danta Pyramid. Now, what's really interesting about this is the staggering magnitude of their urban planning. La Danta towers 72 meters above the forest floor. That makes it one of the largest ancient structures in the entire world. The 10-square-mile civic center of El Mirador was this bustling epicenter of trade and royal residences, and it was surrounded by an estimated 800 interconnected cities. And these cities featured these massive tradic structures, basically huge platforms topped with 3 summit pyramids. It's just mind-blowing scale. And to link this sprawling empire together, the Maya built what researchers consider to be the world's first superhighway system. These sakbiob, or white roads, were monumental engineering feats in their own right. We're talking raised stone causeways up to 6 meters high and 20 to 50 meters wide, linking El Mirador to neighboring sites like Nakbe and El Tintal, which were miles away. It is definitive, undeniable proof of a highly centralized, incredibly powerful political state.
Section 3, engineering the swamp.
Now, you definitely can't build massive pyramids without feeding millions of people, especially in nutrient-depleted tropical soils. So how did they pull it off? Well, the secret to their survival was mastering the bajos. These are seasonal, tree-covered swamps that actually make up roughly 60–70% of the entire Mirador Basin landscape. It was a harsh geographical reality for sure, but the pre-classic Maya basically hacked it, turning it into an agricultural goldmine. Let's see how this builds into a highly productive, sustainable agricultural loop. First off, they imported thousands of tons of nutrient-rich muck directly from the swamps. Next, they built elevated, mud-covered terraces. Then, they ingeniously added lime to the soil to elevate the pH level, which made it absolutely perfect for sustaining vital crops like corn, squash, beans, and cacao. And when the soil got depleted, they just added another layer of swamp mud. It was a brilliant, self-sustaining system. Up next is Section 4, the stucco trap.
But as incredible as they were, this golden age of engineering carried the seeds of its own destruction. You see, the Maya developed a fatal flaw, an absolute, undeniable obsession with monumental vanity. They just loved to plaster everything. They coated their towering pyramids, their vast plazas, the floors, and all this incredible architectural art in a smooth, thick, white lime plaster known as stucco. Now sure, it created breathtakingly beautiful, shining cities, but the dark side, the ecological cost of this conspicuous consumption was staggering.
So the crucial point here is the deadly math required to actually make that stucco. It's almost hard to believe. To produce just 1 single ton of lime cement, the Maya had to burn 5 tons of green wood just to heat the 5 tons of limestone. Think about the massive volume of ladanta we talked about earlier. To paint entire cities in thick stucco, the Maya had to completely and utterly devastate their surrounding forests. It's an almost absurd level of resource consumption.
Which leads us directly to Section 5, an environmental collapse.
This insatiable appetite for lime plaster triggered an irreversible, catastrophic chain reaction. Here are the actual mechanics of their doom. First, the massive deforestation stripped away the trees that were anchoring the soil. So when the heavy tropical rains inevitably came, that loose, unanchored soil just eroded straight downhill. And where does water flow in a basin? Right down into the bajos. 2 to 3 meters of thick, sterile clay washed down, permanently burying the nutrient-rich swamp muck they relied on for agriculture. Their crop fields failed. Literally, their architectural hubris suffocated the very swamps that fed them, resulting in mass starvation and the total, tragic collapse of their society.
Now, centuries later, around 700 AD, a small population did return, but the contrast is just night and day. Instead of 72-meter monumental architecture, they built little structures scarcely 8 meters high, often just plundering the grand preclassic ruins for loose stone. It was a modest population, mostly scribes and artists, who created those famous, beautiful Codex-style ceramics, but their occupation was super brief. By 900 AD, the Mirador Basin was abandoned all over again.
Section 6. Modern threats to Mirador.
Fast forward to today. The jungle has long since reclaimed those mighty pyramids, but the basin is facing new, absolutely devastating threats. The Global Heritage Fund lists Mirador as on the verge of irreparable loss. Today, the region is besieged by massive deforestation, destructive logging roads, poaching, and narcotics trafficking. And making matters even worse, violent looters plunder the ancient ruins, hunting for those late classic Codex ceramics. A single piece can sell for over $100,000 at auction. That fuels a massive $10 million a month black market in stolen cultural property, which, tragically, sometimes leads to real violence against the local people who are just trying to protect it.
And honestly, the visual evidence from space is a stark warning. This NASA map tracks fires over just a 7-year period. If you look at the red and yellow dots, those are modern fires aggressively creeping in right on the borders of the Maya Biosphere Reserve. They are directly threatening the unexcavated ruins of the Mirador Basin right now.
Which brings us to a deeply unsettling reality, doesn't it? The ancient preclassic Maya consumed their resources to the point of total ecological collapse, effectively burying their own empire. As we sit here today and watch modern deforestation and fires literally encroaching on the ruins of their civilization, we really have to ask ourselves, are we doomed to repeat the exact same environmental mistakes that buried the ancient snake kings? It's a profound lesson hidden deep in the jungle, just waiting for us to learn from it. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and as always, keep your curiosity alive.